Hi, my name is Dr. Richard Abbey. I show parents of children suffering from ADHD what to do so they don't have to suffer anymore. I'm going to tell you today about the concept of the gap in the gain. So, what I think everybody's getting wrong out there, if you're interested in the assessment world, does your child have ADHD, attention deficit disorder? In my opinion, that's completely mislabeled. It should be, let's take a look at what's going on. If you have some areas that are very well developed, we need to look at that from a strength-based model. And then we need to look at the things that are causing the problems. What are they from a functional standpoint? Are you having trouble like focusing, paying attention, dividing your attention, executive function? Those should actually be seen in today's world as opportunities, not deficits, but opportunities. If you capture them early enough, then you can build them up, and the child can actually, with their own internal resources, build them up without medication, without all these external things that they're not going to do for the rest of their life anyway. The medication does not help and speed up the neurodevelopmental process. You got to find something that can do that, and if you can do that, then their future is different. And they're going to live longer. They're going to be happier. Your grandchildren are going to have happier lives because they're actually going to have parents that are still together. These are the things that you really should know about. These are the questions. And so it should maybe be changed from attention opportunity assessment, or, what are the areas of the gap between what you're able to do and what's really difficult for you. And then the assessment should include, what are the strategies to close that gap? What are the strategies to take what areas are lagging behind? What are the areas that are already optimized? And then what do we do to help those areas that are lagging behind catch up in an accelerated manner to the ones that are already optimized, so your child can be their best selves? They can, be their potential. They can take the math class, the art. They have the grit and the things that is necessary in life to be successful, so they can have their own best future. So they can figure out what they've been put on for planet Earth. What is their mission? Not the mission that, teachers want, everybody else what they want to do. What do they want to do? And how do they want to live their life? And can we take those roadblocks away so they can just be happy and do that for themselves? I think that's what we all want for our children. And so you can do that. And what the problem is in today's society is that, unfortunately, people are misinformed. They don't know that. And so they seek things like, well, I want a neuropsych assessment. Well, why do you want that? Well, I want that so my child can have accommodations. And wait. Why did you first, let's go back up. Why did you first seek out a neuropsychological assessment? Well, I didn't. I started noticing my child was having trouble. Well, what were the problems there? Well, they started coming home and they're really concerned. They started getting anxious. They weren't turning in their homework. Instead of getting an A, they were getting a C, not because they didn't know what they were doing, because they made careless errors, or they didn't turn in their homework, or their teacher thought they were lazy. And I got really concerned. So I talked to the teacher, and that didn't really help. I mean, it did a little bit, but it didn't solve the problem. So then I talked to the pediatrician, talked to my friends, all the things. And somebody along the way said, you should go get a neuropsych assessment so they can get accommodations like extra time in school and extra time on testing. Oh, okay, great. But that's not why you were concerned. You weren't like, oh, all I need to do is have my child have extra time and I'll be okay, and they'll be okay. That's not what you want for your child. What you want is to figure out, why is that a problem? Where is it occurring? Is there any form of modern technology that you could actually take so they could actually help themselves? Could I please provide that for my child? Yeah, there is. Why isn't everybody else doing that? Because they went to school for 12 years and they're doing what they were taught in school. When I found out about all these things, what to do because I toured the country. I talked to the experts. I looked at all the things. I was mentored by them. I kind of dug in, took all the things that was useful and developed a program. And when I figured out what it could do, I got really angry about all the missed opportunities for my former clients that I could have helped them. And I didn't know. I went to the top schools in the country. I worked at Stanford. You would think because I was so successful, I'm at Stanford, I'm at the top of my game, I would know all these things. I didn't know because they don't teach you. So if you don't know and nobody's told you, you're probably angry at this point too. And I've had grown up clients, like let's say with a head injury, and they were told just sit in the dark, turn the lights off and you'll get better. And they don't get better. And it's been 3 months, 6 months, a year. And they're kind of, sidelined from school, job. Literally one of the top students can't attend school. So then they come and they learn and it makes sense. They try it and they get better. And they're pretty angry about the lost time and the anguish and the heartache. And it's pretty heartbreaking, quite frankly. But it's also really amazing when they come to you and you're like, man, I'm so glad you found us because we know what to do. We know how to help you. Let us show you how to help your child, help them get better. And it's a process. It's not like a magic bullet. You're not going to get better in a few weeks. It's like going to the gym. You're not going to go to the gym for a couple sessions, be like, yeah, I'm all strong. I don't have to do that. But it's a process. And, if you understand how the brain works and you understand how you can build the muscles in the brain and where to build those and exactly what to do about it, and you do that and you stick with it. And, you might have to make sure your child does it. And, with us as a team, helping and all those things, or wherever you are with your clinician and your clinical team, and they help you get better. They help you help them get better. Then they get better. It's well, what do you mean? You're saying everybody can do that? So I don't know. The analogy is if you go to the gym and you have a personal trainer and they work you out and you're doing the right workouts, unless there's some kind of major medical thing wrong with you that would prevent you from building muscle, you're going to get better. Same thing. And so, if there is some kind of virus or pandus or something like that, you need to look into that and get it fixed. But 99.9% of all of our clients don't have that. And if they do, we find them places to help them get better. They get better, they come back, and then they get all the way better. That's what we do. That's what we've kind of put together in the program. I'm going to be just talking transparently about all those things. I'm going to have some podcasts, some webinars for you to join and just ask me anything, because it's time that you knew, that society knew in general about what's available. And, there might be some things that fit. There may be some things that don't fit. You might be the pill person. You're like, hey, I just want to take a pill. And I'm worried about right now. I'm not really worried about into the future. And I'm good. Then none of this is for you. Go do that. That's great. But if you really want to look at the heart of the problem, the opportunities really that can help your child develop in ways that you had always hoped, in ways that wouldn't hold them back from living their dreams and being happy, so you don't have to worry about them, then that's what we do. That's what we're doing. That's what this series is going to be all about. And we have plenty of people all the time that come to see us. And whether or not you work with us, whether or not it just kind of makes you think a little bit, or you decide to work with somebody else because you've discovered something that makes sense to you, it would be all worth it. It would be all worth it just to educate you about what the opportunities are, so you can actually either you yourself change and have a better life, or most of our clients are children, because try to get an adult to exercise. I'm going to go do a marathon. I'm 60 years old and I've never done it before. I mean, I don't know what the stats are on that, but I would imagine it's very few people. If you've never exercised in your life. So that's what we find with adults. Unless the pain is great enough, I got a concussion, I can't get the promotion, I might get a divorce. Okay, like now you're ready to go. But most people aren't going to do that when they're adults. When you're a child, and up until the time where you have developed enough where it becomes your identity, sometime somewhere in the teen years, before that time, you get a Pokemon, you get a sticker, you're gonna do things for. Hopefully, you are a parent that are able to manage your child's behavior to do some very basic, simple, and often fun things with my staff. That's awesome and fun and amazing and relate to people. Then they'll get a lot better. And so, it's not that hard. You can do it at home. And hopefully that would be something that you'd be interested in. And it doesn't have to be like, well, my child has to have this diagnosis, or they have to be suffering and have this, ADHD or learning disability. No, if they're having trouble and struggles, if you believe that, daily or tutoring a couple times a week or sitting in the classroom is going to develop your child's brain to its absolute best, then you should absolutely continue to do that. But if you're thinking like, okay, we're sending people to Mars and we have electric cars and all these different things, where's the technology to help us get better, like ourselves or our children? Oh yeah, well, you go to the gym, go down the street, and you can use super high technology to like do HIIT exercise and do all these amazing things to like help your cardiovascular system, to help your musculature grow better than ever, and you can videotape it and you can take supplements and all those things. Okay, awesome. Where's the center for the brain? What? Yeah, like what, brain's pretty important. Like some people would think that would be the most important thing. Where's that center? Well, I don't know. I've never heard of that before. That's ridiculous. Okay, so in modern society, we've created all these things, and all these people are suffering from anxiety, depression, or they're trying to fit into the classroom or the setting and the work setting, all these different things that we've created as a society over the past 300 years, from the Industrial Revolution to the information age. So you're saying that there's no way to help my brain be more adaptive so I can do exponentially better if I have something holding me back, or if I just want to develop my brain to its maximum potential. Not that I know of. Well, there is. There's few of them, right? And wouldn't it be amazing if you had access to that? Or wouldn't it be amazing if you could help your child develop their brain so they're prepared for the next 10, 20, 30 years for things that don't even exist today? So that thing that you're worried about, doesn't hold them back in relationships, or, preventing addiction or divorce, or like losing 20 to 30% of their income because they can't get the projects done on time, or they don't follow up on anything, right? Or they get into risky behaviors and their life is cut short 20 to 30 years. Like, well, maybe you could like invest in doing things for them today to develop their brain so they got a better chance of extending their life by 20, 30 years, of reducing their divorce rate ×2. So your grandchildren actually have parents that are together, and so they do better at work, and they're happy, like they're living their life's dream. It's not trying to make like the next MIT, Harvard, Stanford, Ivy League student. It's about like, let's be the best version of ourselves. So like we don't beat ourselves up for not being able to turn our homework in time. The kid next to us is X, Y, and Z, and I thought I was smart as him, and I'm beating myself up for things that actually don't exist because I have this little thing that I can't like focus and pay attention, which makes me incredibly inefficient. And when I go to school with other kids that are as smart as me, like I don't feel like that. I feel lesser than and dumb, and why can't I do it? And I hate myself. And like, if you haven't gotten there yet, stick around, because if you can find a solution for them, you will be there. Trust me. And it's no fun. You want to be on the leading edge of that for your child. You want to like cut those things off before it becomes a problem. before they're like moving into your basement and not moving out when they're 20 years old. Because then you can't help them. You can only help somebody who will let you help them. And, you know, we have young adults, typically they will let us help them when they failed out of college and there's, you know, they're now open. They're in enough pain where they're open. Usually children, you know, somewhere between 18 months and 12 years old, pretty easy. When they start hitting adolescence and they've suffered with this problem for long enough, yeah, they may not allow you to do that, depending on who you are. And as they get older and older, it becomes increasingly more difficult. And by the way, if you've lived with your brain, you know, with a certain way, and you've learned how to compensate a certain way, you know, a lot of people are like, well, I don't want my kid to change. They're fine just the way they are. The gift of ADHD, really. So there's a gift that when I'm talking to you and you're not focused and paying attention, and I've told you multiple times, that's somehow a gift. Like not being able to use your brain in a way that everybody else can in society is giving you some advantage. Let me tell you, or let you in on a little secret. It's not a gift. The gifts that you can unlock is, you know, they're these compensatory things, right? Oh, they're going to think different and all those things. And, you know, if you train their brain, they're not going to have that anymore. That's not true. In fact, what happens is the things that you appreciate most in your child that are awesome, that make them the amazing person they are, they become, I know this isn't a word, they become even more amazinger, right? So, you know, they're not sticking their head down and doing all these things like I'm not good enough and why can't I do all these things? It's like all these things they've compensated, and you take away these things that are, you know, you don't take it away. You bolster and help them develop and strengthen those brain muscles for attention, for executive functions, for doing all those things. And now those compensatory, those things that like they were trying to like adapt, now those things are elevated and they become their superhuman selves. So we see this all the time and we're like, yeah, they're not normal kids. They're extraordinary kids. And when they can focus, execute, and get things done, plus they have their amazing selves all together. It's like, you know, we have meetings every Friday and we're crying. Tears are falling because dreams are coming true and parents are like, I knew that. I saw that in their heart. Parents know that. You know, the other people have given up on them. Teachers, coaches, maybe even schools and universities won't give them a chance, but you know what's in there. And so when you can actually help them bring that out, those are the gifts that you're talking about. Nobody does brain strengthening as like, where'd my son go? Where'd my daughter go? They're different. No, they're just not suffering anymore. When they intend to do something and execute and do their homework or, you know, practice their instrument or, you know, do well at sports, they can do it because they have the grit and they can focus for, you know, instead of a few seconds or 30 seconds or a minute or two, they plow through their homework and now they got extra time instead of like driving all over town with tutoring appointments and doctor appointments and all those things. Yeah, they can do it. So if you're interested in any of these things, stay tuned because hopefully you're wondering like, well, what the heck are those things and how come I don't know about them? I'm going to tell you all about those things. And hopefully some of the things are real simple. They're free. You can do it like after school today. Some of the things are more involved. And usually the more involved they are, the more effective they are. But it takes longer. And you got to look at it as an investment in your child for their futures, not only today, but into the future. So hopefully somebody out there is interested in hearing more. And if you are, watch my next video. Thank you very much.